What better way to kick off the channel than with this? This is my 1989 VN Commodore. No, it is not a factory 5 litre. This car is actually a factory manual V6 S-Pack. When I bought it, it used to have all these black shiny bumpers and I used to think they were cool, but as I've gotten older, I've decided that I want a pretty standard look. I finished this conversion back in 2019 and there's actually already a YouTube video about this car by Remy's Chop Shop. However, I thought I'd go into a bit more depth on my own channel. This video is going to be a bit tricky for me. I can legitimately talk about this car forever. I absolutely love this thing. I had it as a V6 for a few years actually before I decided to do a 5 litre, and very, very fortunately for me, I did it at a time where everything was still cheap. So I bought a manual VR 5 litre wagon for $1,500 and ripped the running gear out and rebuilt the whole motor. LS1 rocket gear, 6 litre injectors. It's got pretty much everything, and everything was new. Everything in this engine bay that could be replaced was. Some highlights in this bay are definitely this SV enhanced airbox, AU Falcon twin thermo fans with a Davies crate controller. There are some VT brake upgrade there, however, that side of the car is a little bit messy, so I'll turn the camera away from that. Overall, the car is in pretty good condition. Some original 3-piece Venetians. Does have SLs and shortened shocks all round. I think that is the perfect height for these cars. Because it was a Series 1 S-Pack, it actually has the seats with the red piping, which is the exact same seats as a VN SS. So this does have VN SS interior, so that's pretty cool. It did have a black headlining when I got it. I don't know who got that done or why. I did put the fluffy dice in though, and they look fantastic. Overall, the interior is pretty reasonable. In true Deacon style, I retained every receipt that I've ever spent on this car, and I actually did go through this on one of my TikTok videos. The number did add up to around $20,000. Now that was back in 2019. That is just sort of what it cost to build a car. And this car's paint and panel was already pretty good, so most of it is on the running gear. I really did save this car. When I bought it, it had a spool, it had a Hyundai i30 springs in the rear. It had the worst exhaust leak. It had a hole in the door for someone trying to steal it. It was pretty rough, but I saw potential in it, and that was quite a few years ago now, and I'm so glad that I hung on to it and that I put everything into it. So yeah. My favorite part of this conversion was putting on these badges. I know that seems silly, but when I bought it, it was all debadged, and that's one of the things that I don't really like that much. Putting on that 5 litre badge was like a sign that it was done, you know, that it was good to go. This car has a lot of products from Rare Spares on it, like these pinstripes on the bars. Now these are actually painted bars as opposed to the normal non-painted plastic bumpers. Now because it's an S-Pack, it does have a feature which many VNs do not have, and that's a very, very fancy feature, which I'll show you right now. Just like it rolls. It is just as well that the electronic release works, because I've just remembered that this key is actually not hooked up to anything. That's just for show. This is a good example of a VN. I do recognize that, but it is still a VN. So let me show you what's actually wrong with it. This door always needs to be slammed. I'll show you what I mean. If I close it like a normal door, every single time. So you really have to slam it. And because of that, this interior trim that runs along the top there always lifts. It would not be a VN without a bit of that. This door rubber really needs to be replaced. I do have one, I'm just time poor at the moment. This door never ever stays open. The handbrake doesn't work. The radio is just for show. And the speedo and tacho don't work either. Mechanically though, it's in really good shape. It is just a few minor things, probably something that I can fix over the course of this channel. After a quick costume change, it is time to drive this thing. Now you might be thinking, Deacon, does not having a radio bother you? No. No, it doesn't. Not at all. So standard T5 gearbox, standard diff, standard rear brakes. It does have VT front, so I can stop on a dime, but that's about it. Now, is this car going to be running 8-second quarters? No, but it's just such a tough sounding car. Just every time I drive this thing, I just can't stop smiling. It's just such a fun car to drive. Again, is it comfortable? No. No, not at all. It's not comfortable, it's not fast, it's hot, the heater's stuck on a little bit. But you know what? I absolutely love this car, and hopefully my face can show that. Definitely gets a lot more attention now, whether that's positive or negative. Like I said, when I built this car, everything got replaced, everything was new, and that has really, really paid off. So my advice to anybody that's building a car, save some money, have some money ready. It's going to cost you big time, but then you can just turn the key and drive a Toyota every day. So obviously that's the most reliable car I have. However, this is a very, very close second. I've touch wood, I've not had any issues with it. Actually, that is a lie. The starter motor came out of its crimp, but I did the crimp, so I stuffed it up. So that's my fault. That's it, boys. The van is back home safe. Now, this was my first ever real YouTube video, so please give me any feedback you have, especially negative. I want to make this as good as I possibly can. I'm pretty happy with the camera quality, but I need to improve my microphones. There are some inconsistencies in the videos, and I really want to improve that. I do have quite a few ideas up my sleeve of what other videos I'm going to be doing. If you guys have any suggestions or something that you'd like me to make a video, feel free to jump in the comments, or if it's a quick question, I might even answer it over on my TikTok. There is 4 other cars here currently, and there's one at the panel shop, and I'm building an L67 over in the corner. Your kind of thing, then like, subscribe, and follow along with what I'm doing here.